Hey all, it's Matt with Bobcat Bonsai here. Today we're going to be going back and removing some wire from my willow tree bonsai that I'm working on and adding more wire. This thing is growing so rapidly. I think it's been maybe like 2-3 weeks since it was last wired, but it's already showing signs of beginning to bite in, so we need to get that all straightened out. So let's get to it. So I've still been working on my greenhouse a little bit here, and I don't have an exact area set up yet to do all my wiring in. So it might look a little bit crazy, but try to just ignore all this and focus into here for me. Alright, so my goal is to start making these videos a little bit quicker. So as you can see in through here, let me bring you in a little bit. You'll see the wires starting to already get tight on these skinnier branches. Willows, it is important to hit them when they're young, because if you want it to weep, you have to bring it in early. This shoot, since we last wired, was maybe about 2 inches long, and now it's just huge. So let me get this unwired and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so it's all unwired now. Let's look at some of my mistakes I made in the wiring process. Predominantly this one right here. This branch looks super healthy. Let me find something. Here we go, my little bamboo stick. But if you look, yes, it is hanging on, but it's not hanging on well at all. I have to get rid of this branch because it's not gonna do good for me in the long run now. So if you look real close right in here, this branch, if I was to stick it in the ground right now, it would actually sprout its roots and turn into its own individual willow tree. But I have so many that I'm actually not going to worry about it. That was mistake number one. Mistake number two. Let's get in here real close. Let me grab my little pointer again. 2 to 3 weeks and that wire bit in already. That means I had it wrapped way too tight. Way too tight. And that's, you're going to find in different spots all over. If you see, let me pull you back just a little bit here. This big branch and this big branch, I'm gonna give them into spring and see if they sprout anything out. And if they don't, I'm gonna have to accept the fact that I'm gonna be doing a major chop and getting rid of both of these and finding a new main leader that's gonna come out. All right, so I'm not sure if you saw them in there. There is actually some little succulent leaves laying in here. This one just laying on top actually started rooting. Sometimes I just throw them in with some of the other trees just to give them a chance, see what they're gonna do. That's just for fun though. No big plans for them, just for fun. So let's get all set back up and we'll get into wiring. Okay, so at this point, all I'm really looking to do is continue this weeping motion that's going on. As you can see, even though I force this to weep down, the little stem that's coming out in here is already starting to grow itself back upwards. So all I'm really going to do here to keep that weeping motion going is I'm going to put a little hole in here. I'm going to reuse some of the wire that was already used. And I have no intentions of putting anything tight on right now. Right now, all I'm going for is to keep that weeping effect pulling downwards on these branches. So I'm just going to come in, loop it, and that's all. That's it. So it's got all this room to move back and forth, but it's going to be held downwards still. I'm going to go through and do this around the outside edges on all of them, and I'll be back with you when I'm done. Okay, so as you can see, I have this branch down, this one's down, this one's down. I'm going to do some work with this one right here, and I believe this one I'm actually going to bring over the top and actually end up putting this one into right here just to try to give it a little bit fuller of a canopy for now. So we're just going to see how that goes, and if we don't like it, we can always trim it later and work on getting a different shape out of it. But for now, I'm going to bring it across here, bring it in, not too tight, and then just hold that one down like this. So now onto this guy right here. I've got this little branch right here. I've got some leaves that are all overlapping each other, so I'm actually going to come in, I'm going to get rid of this one, going to get rid of this bottom one, get rid of that bottom one where there's another shoot coming out. I'm going to get rid of this one that's cutting back. I'm going to get rid of these two bottom ones. Let's get rid of this bottom one as well. This one is coming back towards the tree we're going to get rid of. We're going to get rid of this side one right here. And that side one right there. So now I'm going to take another thin piece of wire here. And on this one, I'm going to try and be really careful because I don't want to damage this branch any more than I already did. So I'm just going to come in, do a loose twist, come back over and around, hit it with another loose twist down low, making sure that we're not actually pinching anything. And then from there, I'm just going to real loosely bring it up and around this branch. And the only reason for this is so that I can bring it down and off to the side over here. That's it. It's all loose, super baby leaf right there, or branch, so it doesn't take much pressure. This whole thing in here is all loose around it, so there's no pressure on there. It did leave me with a leaf that's kicking backwards, so I'm going to end up getting rid of that one. But I'm going to leave these two side ones on here and see what they do as they grow. I am expecting that the tip right here is going to end up kicking up just like the rest of these. And then I do also intend on bringing this little guy backwards towards the main stalk itself. So I'm going to bring this one up, up. And if these big branches don't grow, well, hey, at least they came in handy for being able to go for something else here. If that makes any sense. So then I'm just going to pull from there, leave this loose, 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 and just tilt this one down and in. Alright. So when we did that, that gave this one a little bit crazier of a lift there. And again, this isn't really a final product, this is just to get some looks out of it. I'm already debating whether or not I like this option of what I went with here. So let's untwist this guy. and bring it up just a little bit higher. Let it have just a little bit more lift there. Alright, so I grabbed some thicker wire here, and I will tell you, this probably follows absolutely no rules whatsoever of how to wire up bonsai. But I use the green because the green matches, and that now allows me to bring that one over. So I'm just going to come through here, trim up some of these downward hanging leaves. Try and make them so that they're at least offset a little bit. I'm gonna actually get rid of this one. So that one's there, that one, that one, that one, that one. Alright. Check underneath through here. I see no more downward. Coming over to this side right here. We're gonna get rid of that guy. We're going to leave that one because it looks like it's kind of coming out to the side. But get rid of that one. Get rid of this one. And we're going to take off the lower leaves in here. If you ever want a fun little bonsai that you can just kind of like play with, and when you screw up, it comes back to life really easy, willows are definitely the way to get your practice in. So I'm just going to come in here. Just continue to trim off some of these little leaves. I've got a nice big one back here that's hooking backwards, so we'll get rid of that one. I'm actually going to end up getting rid of this one and this one. I'm just letting this hang, and then there should be little branches that are coming out of there here shortly. Get rid of that little baby leaf. This one that's crossing over top. We'll have to see where these little branches decide to take themselves. We're about to go completely unethical bonsai wiring again here. Well, I guess the question is it unethical if it works? Yeah, it's still unethical because it's not the way that you're supposed to do it. So, I'm going to hook that there, and then just grab this little guy and twist this whole wire back this way. That's it. Give a snip on that leaf. Give a snip on this little low leaf here. Gonna get rid of this guy that's growing back on it. Alright, and I think that is it, except this one and right there. Alright, there we have it. So this is it for now. The way this thing's going, I may see you back in 2 weeks. I may see you back in the spring. Thanks for coming along on this little journey today. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.